2 a.m. ish. Just arrived in Decatur, Texas. We're about 10 minutes from Eagles Canyon, where James is going to get in the car tomorrow morning, and we are beat. I feel pretty terrible.
Evan drove the last hour and a half, and I can't see straight. This is rough.
Yeah. This video is going to be short because we're going to get about 4 hours of sleep, and so I'd like to go get all of our 4 hours of sleep. But it's like a few hours ago, we were eating dinner talking about how amazing this event is and how it's really clicking, and I think we're going to feel that way in the morning. But I am tired. It is nonstop. This was another long drive. Obviously, we had a long night last night with the car, and then tomorrow we realized there's actually two entire events. There's Eagles Canyon in the morning, Eagles Canyon 2, and then drag racing. So here we go.
And that was, I think about 3 hours ago, that was, hey, we get to race our car and then go drive and then race our car and then race our car some more and then go drive some more and then we wake up and race our car.
Sounds terrible.
I'm sure it'll be exciting in the morning. Not right now.
Good night. All right, 7 a.m., Eagles Canyon, Texas. We just got in the car, unpacked, repacked. We're feeling it still from last night. Nobody's happy. And weather looks great. Car cranked a bunch of times before it started. James and I both looked at each other, shrugged, and then said we should probably make a video because it's going to be funny when it doesn't start later.
I think it cranked exactly one more time than normal, but that was enough.
It was enough because we've been sitting in this car together and starting this car over and over and over that we noticed one more crank. All right, we'll be back. James, what do you think about tires?
Tires are good. So we're, I don't know, 1,500, something like that, transit miles. We've had some wet weather tracks, so that doesn't wear on the tires too much. We've had some high load Road Atlanta specifically with dry weather, and they look amazing. In fact, they've cleaned up a little bit after this commute. So these fairly continuous ribs, not a full continuous rib on that. Starting to see just a small bit of taper in that, but no, wears even across. Of course, that speaks a little bit to the suspension and alignment of the car. We're not really rolling it over on that outside shoulder. But yeah, these things look amazing. It's we'll see, and that's going to be important because we need obviously we need to be on the same tires, same set of 4 tires for 3,500 street miles plus all this track time. Plus we've got a transit, and as we saw yesterday, the transit's going to be some of the sketchiest stuff we do on this trip. I mean, when we're going, water aside, we're dodging things on the road. There was one of our cars hit a pallet of wood that fell off a truck yesterday. We almost hit a tire gator and swerved to miss that last minute. So pretty sketchy on the transits, but add water to that, add puddles to that. It was terrifying.
Three more days of road courses. I feel like these tires look pretty good to me. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that. Damage is always a concern for anybody, but as far as the transfers go and the wear from what we're doing here, I think we're feeling pretty good about this choice. I would also note there are some others feeling pretty good about this choice right next to us. So clearly other people thinking similarly in some cases of the way we did about picking the ECS02 for this adventure. I think we've mentioned that we have to raise the car for the transfers and lower the car for the track. That's giving us the alignment we want, as well as a little bit more splitter height for the long runs. I want to talk today about a pretty trick little setup that the guys Phil back at Bimmer World set up for us. You can typically count turns as you do this, but it's real easy to lose count of turns, isn't it, James?
I have been dead on accurate until this corner this morning on 6 hours of sleep over the last 2 days cumulative. So I have no idea where I am. So Phil Wurz.
So that's where Phil Wurz's tool comes in handy. After we set up the car, did the alignment, got the heights where we wanted it, he made these custom keys that we can use as a template to put between the control arm and the spring
Sway bar
perch.
tab. Sway bar tab.
Sway bar tab and spring perch, and make sure we get back to the right height that we wanted.
So we're raising this thing significantly. So there's a toe sweep. So you could call that bump steer in some forms, but bump steer is a matter of how much toe travel there is per amount of car height. So spring perch height, and we're set with a specific toe setting that we want on the racetrack. And it just so happens that when we raise the car, and with the bump steer characteristics of this car, with that toe setting, which is in or out, I know, but we work hard on this, so I'll keep that secret. But it's out in a certain amount, and then when we raise the car for our street transits, and what's super important on this, we're driving 3,500 miles on the street. We want no wear, and so it's 0 front toe at the raised ride height. So that's why the height is so critical, and then of course reaching that exact height when you're on the track is super critical, because that's your cross weight, and of course that affects how the car turns left to right. You can wedge in the NASCAR world is what you add to make a car turn better one direction than the other. This thing's set up about 50-50, so that's what we're looking for, and that's why we make sure it gets to the same ride height.
James, just getting out of the car for the first time here at Eagles Canyon. How'd it go?
Fair. So it's been a while since I've been to this track. They've changed the surface since then. They've changed the configuration, added I think 4 turns. But the track is awesome. It's fast, it's sweeping. There's places that are, you put the power down and it's kind of a drag strip, but it kind of leaves me thinking, like, where's the grip? So, I don't know, man. Like, we've had rain, we've had dry. How did it go in Road Atlanta? Like, so you had both, in Road Atlanta. Tell me about the car in Road Atlanta.
Yeah, so I mean, I think when I came off the track in Road Atlanta in the wet, I was really impressed with the handling of the car. Those who remember my attitude, I was not impressed with myself. The car felt great, and so in the dry, I came off saying, "Hey, did we forget to change back to a dry setup?" Everything felt soft, and so I think what James and I are going to need to discuss is what was going on there. We're both given pretty similar feedback, I think, about the dry setups. We're unable to get hard on the brake pedal, or it really goes away from us. If you're trying to be super soft rolling into the brakes, then you're not getting to the brakes fast enough. And
most importantly for me, you can't necessarily trust that if you go deep in a braking zone that you'll be able to stop it because you get into the ABS so fast.
Right, you have to keep it out of the ABS.
So quickly, Evan, you ran it in dry, you ran it in wet at Road Atlanta. Braking performance, and I know it was a little bit of a drying track in the wet, but braking performance, better dry, better wet?
Relative better wet. I mean,
Okay.
Obviously it was stopping better in the dry than the wet, but the car was better in the wet than the dry, for sure.
Explain that comment. Better.
I'm saying
better.
I mean, I wasn't braking later in the wet than I am in the dry, right? But for the traction available, the braking was better than expected in the wet and worse than expected in the dry.
Okay. So, we're working with street tires, and this isn't what I normally do, or it's been a long time since I've really tuned a race car for street tires. But our goal this afternoon is to add grip. So obviously we have a big aero package on this car. We have a big rear wing. So I think I don't know why we didn't think of it yesterday, but we're going to come up in that rear wing. We should have done that when we had trouble putting power down, but we were just so beat yesterday that it's hard to think like that.
Yeah. I think now that James is driving, we're going to have some great ideas. That's for sure.
Thanks, man. We are ready for the afternoon session, mostly at Eagles Canyon. So in the morning session, I feel like we're just transferring too much load to these tires. It's a street tire, and it just doesn't take what we're trying to do, especially under braking, power down. Turn in is pretty solid, but ultimately we're just looking for more grip and maybe better control of it. So this is one of these times that I'm super happy to have the 3-way MCS dampers on it and the ability to make all those individual changes. So a couple things we've done, and I'll talk about the dampers later because we're starting to feel a little bit of moisture, and so that'll be a last minute change. But what we've done to add grip is, the easy thing is add downforce. So we lowered the front of the car. That's going to get the splitter lowered to the ground and should help the front. We've raised the rear wing. That should help the rear. And we've also lowered the rear of the car. So with the geometry of an E90 or E9X, F8X car, G8X, same thing, they have a bit of anti-squat built into the suspension geometry from the factory. And while that's good for a street car and making it feel like it's a really stable platform in a pure race car, you'd be looking for zero or possibly even pro squat to really allow it to accept power. When you look at a drag car launching off the line, it's got pro squat in it to let it drop the rear and let it transfer the load. And so it's this balancing act that we're doing right now with transferring enough load but not shocking the tire. And so lowering the rear gets rid of some of that anti-squat geometry, which is a shock to the tire, and it puts that kind of that lower length that goes diagonally forward, puts it at a little bit less of an angle. If you think about this as a spring, it's kind of, if it was straight up and down and it was a bar, it would be an infinite spring rate, which obviously that's not going to make grip. So there's a vector force in that, and so a component of it. And by lowering that, we get rid of that or reduce that amount of that vector. So hoping that lowering the front for aero, lowering the rear for power down and less shock to the tire, and then of course adding the rear wing for the aero is going to help. Shocks. So it's tough here because I'd love to make clicks go out, and the format of the event just doesn't allow for that. So we're gonna go a direction and hope it's the right direction if the track conditions are the same. So we're gonna wait, as often I find myself doing when rain comes, to decide what changes we're going to make. I know it's going to be rebound if we have an opportunity, but rebound is underneath the car. That means crawling under the rear or jacking up the front and reaching around on the tire, and that's because of that GT More or that M4 style damper that's an eye top where you don't have just the little knob up under the hood. So if we have the opportunity, if it's looking great and not going to rain, we'll go ahead and make that rebound change and commit to it. But if it's questionable, that may just, that's not a quick click up on the pre-grid. So we'll see. The other one is the low speed compression. So low speed, specifically when we're talking about dive or squat or roll of the car, not bumps. Bumps is the high speed, and we're talking about the shaft speed on the damper. So we're going to increase, and this is where I'm conflicted, we're going to increase low speed compression, and it's my hope that, especially if we balance that out with rebound, that we'll be able to slow the load transfer from the tire to the pavement and control some of the weight transfer, which is two different things but interconnected on the car itself. So I'm a little sleepy right now. So this is engineering on the fly with not the brain power I'd like to have, but that's what I'm thinking about, and we're going to see how it runs this afternoon. We've got from the morning session, we're like 2/10 away from the Black Wing, which was first in our class. We were 12th overall, and so they gained 5 points on us in the in class. Would really like to, in the second session, which is its own separate event, really like to get those points back. So we just need a little bit. Plus, now that I've seen the track at speed, thought about it a little bit. But of course, I'm going to drive it a little bit different and push a little harder. And hopefully, between the car changes, between the driver changes, we can come up with the speed we need to move forward in the field.
All right, we're here, ready for round 2 at Eagles Canyon. About to put James in the car. James, we're real close to the Cadillac, which is our main competitor in class. What are you going to change? What have we changed on the car real quick? What are you going to change in the driving?
More downforce, more shock, different shock control. What I'm going to change on the driving, I'm going to go faster.
Going faster would be great. How are you going to do that?
Drive faster.
All right, perfect. Brake less, gas more.
It's braking a little bit deeper, and I need to be gradual because I need to stay out of the ABS. I've gotten a good look at the track, and of course it takes that and then settling in. I was making lap by lap improvements last time, but I know there's more on the table, so I'll just keep doing that.
Awesome.
Just keep it on the track, go fast, have fun.
Yeah, we're pretty excited to see if these changes do anything for us. It'd be great at the other tracks if they do. While we're waiting for James to get started, just want to talk about the all-out party happening over here at the number 2 car with Tom O'Gorman. Huh? Can you hear me over that music? Good luck out there.
It's James and Evan.
We got some good news for you. For us. You probably don't care.
If you've invested this much of your time or any amount of your time,
That's true.
you care and we appreciate it. By the way, Kevin would like to say if you would like to invest more of your time, Kevin, Bimmerworld Marketing Manager, please do subscribe to the channel, and this is where he promises to put all the good stuff.
Smash that like button. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. All right. So
Anyway.
so why we're in such a good mood?
Sleep. We've had lots of sleep.
4 hours.
Oh, not lots of sleep. So Evan was driving last night, and it was the last 30 minutes. I drove up to about an hour and a half to go, and Evan, it was like, oh gosh, I'm tired, and I kind of woke up, and I could not keep my eyes open, and when I did, it was just like weird streams of light. I don't know why I can do all-nighters. I don't feel like this is an amazing sleep deprivation event, but the 2 hours we got the night before with the clutch issues, the 4 hours last night, I woke up this morning, I could hardly stand up in the shower. It's been rough, but today's a good day.
That's not the good news.
That's not the good news. Good days can change the world, and I think that's where we are today.
So, today we were supposed to go to Eagles Canyon Raceway, which we did, and James kicked some butt, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But we were then supposed to rush from there to Thunder Valley Drag Strip. One, it was going to be a really long day with a second night event before we could even get back on the road to the next hotel.
The night event, sorry.
Two, we're not drag racers. We've been discussing, when do you press the gas pedal, which light means what, etc. for a while now. So, additionally, the car's been great, but we're not worried about the issues that we had in the transmission and the fact that we're really far from home and still have 2 more road courses, etc. Drag racing's really hard on a car.
We're not worried. However, we want to win this thing. So, while being not worried, we also think, should we go ahead and run the 800 horsepower tune and put in race gas and kill it? So that has been that burden.
I want to be clear, we were not going to not send it hard to the extra, but we weren't looking forward to doing that, even though we were going to do that. But anyways, we don't have to.
The burden has been taken off of our shoulders. The drag race is canceled. It's rained. That doesn't make for good times, nor even honestly safety with a prep strip. So prep strip, is that what the kids call it? And Evan's the drag racer among us. I know nothing about it. So no drag race. That means we cut an hour off of our transit times tonight, plus all the time we would otherwise spend at the drag strip.
We will be at our hotel at 6:19 tonight.
Which also means there's a good chance that we can get Mexican.
Yeah, we haven't been able to get Mexican. Oh, wait.
Right, yeah, we had Mexican last night. So in the middle of a 700-mile commute, we decided it'd be good to stop and do an hour sit down at the Mexican restaurant. And it was good, and it was worth it. We got in at 1 o'clock, further lack of sleep, but hey, priorities. So.
And the camera's still recording. Great job.
Hey, it's just like we do on the racetrack. Everything we do on this trip is about continuous improvement. Every lap we get better. Every event we get better. Every time I use this iPhone to film a video,
you get better.
I'd like to think I get better.
Speaking of getting better and continuously changing results, the results are in.
They are.
Where did we land today at Eagles Canyon?
Well,
where did you land at Eagles Canyon?
You know,
because we've done a lot of 12s and 13s.
And right. So we were 12.
And 13.
Oh, and 13. And 13th or 12th?
13th and 12th.
Oh, 13th, right. 13th in the morning. 12th. So 12th in the afternoon. So our changes on the car did improve our position. That was good. Some other people got faster just with driving, continuing to figure it out. 2 people driving the car, whatever the reason. But we got a lot faster, and so that change we made on the setup for these Continental tires, we just didn't know how much we could throw at these things, and it turns out we can toss a lot at them, and man, our performance envelope has just opened up, so that makes me super excited.
James did an amazing job feeling it out. We finally had 2 dry back-to-back sessions at a fairly typical road course layout, and James found 5 seconds with the changes that he made between those 2.
Over 3 laps. Over 3 laps.
True, over 3 laps. But it's still a huge improvement. How that managed to place us in the exact same place we continue to finish. To be clear, the other cars were not going terribly faster. There's a big gap with some of these. We're now very close to being better than 12th in one of these. But
still killing it in the luxury class. So we won that class again this afternoon.
I mean, even overall, it's
so we are still first in class in luxury. We've extended our lead. Our E92 M3 guys did an awesome job this afternoon, finished second. So that changed up some of the order a little bit, but super cool to see those guys just crushing it out there. The Blackwing that's been slowly gaining like 5 points at a time. I had a little bit of a slip in one of their laps. I don't know. Says Evan, I wasn't watching.
A very small slip, but that's one of the coolest things about this competition is how freaking close it has become. They just had a bobble, and it cost them a couple seconds, and that was enough for the E92 to place ahead of them, which really helps us with points.
So it's amazing. Again, with the span of cars, we've been when all goes well, we've been within a 10th or 2 of them every event. Wild. So they kind of got hurt in the wet skid pad. They didn't have the Continentals we have on the car, so that gave us a good start for the on the points with them for the whole week. But they've been making up ground. They've been doing a great job, and it's we're hyper aware that one little slip can really change things up a little bit. So with our biggest slip potentially being at the drag race and that being canceled, we feel really good about the next 3 days. We have two events at Hallett tomorrow, which I think Evan is driving, 2 events at NCM that I am driving, and then a dry skid pad if it doesn't rain. Speaking of weather, as I'm looking ahead up here, this is it's been sunny, and now that doesn't look good. I know it's the tornado time of year, so we're going to be paying attention and making sure that's not an issue.
As lightning strikes and we begin playing the gas game.
Yeah, we're playing the gas game. We're good at that. We saw 91 octane fuel and thought, all right, we just need enough to get to good fuel, and so we short filled, and then we changed route. So we're back in the gas game. We're well experienced with this, but whatever. Thank you, by the way, to a couple of people. Ryan Staub, who's my Kansas City good buddy, sent us some video for that track for Hallett, and reminded me to ask, or Bill Wade, another friend, reminded me to ask Ryan, hey, do you have video of this? Because Bill sent me a video of what's that other track, NCM, and some track notes, and it's while you can find this stuff on the internet, being able to sift through it and so forth, just having the right stuff from guys that know the track super well has been awesome. Bill, if you happen to watch this video, and that also comes with a bottle of bourbon at NCM, bonus points for you. Hopefully we make it through this, no tornadoes. I say that's not tongue-in-cheek. Our series bus, or RV, that the guys that run the series or run the media for the series are in, had a tornado rip through and toss a couple of trees down, one up against their RV, or on top of, up against. So it's a real thing out here. So we're gonna keep it safe. We're gonna get fuel, shower.
Yes.
We had a shower this morning, not together, and I don't know what Evan is doing in the shower, but I don't feel like it's showering. Or maybe it's just where we are in our week, but Evan smells.
I've been helping prep your car all day.
Our car.
Your car today.
I helped prep your car for the last 2 days, and I didn't ask for any special credit. And I don't think I smelled at the level. But anyway, so a shower tonight, food, likely Mexican, and then all the sleep we've been missing for the last 2 nights. Super excited about this. What else? Anything else we got for the day? It's gonna rain, blow out the camera anyway, or the video here, so
Yeah, that's true.
that's it. See you tomorrow.
It is pouring. We're currently parked under the cover, if you can call it that. It's still dripping all over us, of a Sinclair gas station. James is about to pump some fuel for us, but he's a little worried about getting wet.
So I will tell you, Continental Tires, not only do we appreciate the rain tires that we've got for this weather, but look at this Continental rain jacket.
I gotta be honest, I didn't bring a rain jacket.
I didn't either.
When I saw that in the bag, I was like, wow.
So we prepped for rain, which means we prepped the car for rain, not ourselves. But this is nice, and so hopefully I won't get soaked when I fill the car. Thanks, Continental.